where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is Curious Listener. Here she is, Chris.
Alrighty then. Hey everybody, welcome to Curious Times. Welcome back. It almost feels like, but it's May 18th, Friday. Welcome to your weekend. It's Saturday for Selva, of course, a beautiful Saturday morning it looks like over there. And thanks for everybody. I don't know how long you guys hung in on Tuesday. I was having some tech problems on my end, which just weren't solving. I did like 3 reboots, and I don't understand it. But in the process of all that, I decided to try to get behind the computer and unplug and replug and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, there goes my back. So I was on the ground for about a half an hour waiting to have things settle. I think that it's like it gets to be a trapped nerve, and so what happens is the thing is that the thing that causes you pain, or it's just like bone on bone, whichever. But the funny thing is that the thing that causes you the most pain is your body actually trying to protect you, because all of those muscles, they tighten up so much so as not to allow that area to move. And that's the part that hurts so much, and it's doing that so that stuff isn't, going to move and cause more damage, And so that which is supposedly helping you is causing you the most excruciating pain. And this happens to me. It feels like it's happening more and more. Of course, I'm getting old, and I also have the same problem in my neck, where I easily can get a nerve trapped in there. So then all of a sudden I'm like this for a week or something like that, and then the rest of my back gets all blown out because of compensation, because of bad posture, because, you get pulled out of posture. I have bad posture to begin with, but you get pulled out of posture and then everything gets all messed up even worse. So I need it to get fixed a little bit soon, because I really have needed to get to the store for a week now. And, boosting my car would be almost impossible even if it would work. And so then walking is the next point. And oh my God, just the thought of that and trying to lug stuff home, it doesn't, I have a hard enough time walking to the kitchen, you know what I mean? So anyway, well hopefully it'll settle down, and it almost was getting really, and then all of a sudden I tweak it one bad way and poof, I'm right back where I started. It's terrible. So, but I've been dealing with it for years, so I'm kind of used to it. It doesn't make it any more pleasant to deal with. Anyway, Selva's here. What's coming up? Let's see. Tomorrow we have Kimber. Monday we have Amy. Sunday we have Amy. Monday we have Diana. Tuesday we're off. Wednesday, Kathleen Moore. Thursday off, and next Friday is Selva. And so that's what's going to be going on. And what else was I going to say? I think that's about it for now. And so Selva, for anybody who hasn't heard Selva, she's a very unique, and what I love is the way that she does her readings is to have nothing more from the person than their name and hearing their voice. And she doesn't even really have to hear the voice, but She doesn't want to hear nothing from the person other than that until after she delivers the message, and then she can answer some questions and things. And this really does remove any, allegations that, a psychic is doing a cold reading and, going based off of what question was asked or how it was asked, the tone of voice, all of those kind of little tricks of the trade that some psychics do use. Some quote, fake psychics, I guess, do use to throw some generalizations at people and make it sound like they're doing a reading. So Selva gets all of that right out of the way. She just delivers the pure message that she's receiving, and then she'll dig a little deeper for people if they have questions. She started very young, like at the age of 4. She's already was communicating with spirit and helping other people with that. She was born in South America. She lives in Australia with 6,423 grandchildren or something like that, and her husband. And so mediumship is something Selva can do, but she doesn't do it on command. And so, in other words, don't say, can you, is my mom there or whatever, If she's doing a reading for you and anybody's coming through for you, she'll be delighted to pass along those messages, but she doesn't go knocking on heaven's door. And so she also does do tarot, and she likes to toy around as a bit of a hobby with palm reading. For palmistry, and she does do workshops and tries to make that as affordable as she can for everybody. So you can find out more about her. Just Google her, for crying out loud. Just Google her and you'll find her. But on Facebook you can find her at selva.nix, or just type in Selva Dutton and you'll find her. And so without any more delay, here comes Selva.
Hello, it's good to be back. Good
How's
to
it
be
going?
back.
How was your weekend?
It was a great weekend. I ran amok. I really had a good weekend with the girls, and last week to Esperance and had a spiritual weekend. I worked my butt off. And also last week I got a new grandson, so it's good. I got another grandchild. So,
oh my God!
So that was awesome.
484.
Yes, it's really, really awesome. So that's so it's been a really good magic week. It's been a magic week of a busy time, but it's also been an awareness week. I've been working. I've threw my job in with a rehab center. I don't know if I told you something ago. I just threw it in because I wasn't allowed to become their friends, so I threw it in. And one of the people that was in the rehab center signed themselves. I've been working with them privately, and it's been really good to see someone change their life for themselves, any other reason themselves, and I think that's really, really good. So it's been good. It's been good. It's been an interesting fortnight of happiness and sadness, because we've been to 2 funerals as well in the last fortnight. So we had a funeral, some births, some wedding, but the royal wedding today in Australia. So, so there's the wedding. So, weddings, birth, and funerals. They've had it all in the last fortnight. So it's been really, really good. Darts is going fantastic this year. Actually, it's going to be my best dart year ever so far.
Okay.
I've been
nice.
pretty consistent on 40 average, so I'm really glad, and I'm averaging 3-4 pegs a night, so it's really good, so I'm really happy. So that's going really, really good. Maui is shaping up quite nicely. I'll be there in 14 weeks. I'll be in Maui, so I'm looking forward to that. And I've also reconnected with an internet radio show in the last month as well that I've been asked to go back to, and so I'm giving that a go as well. So that's
nice.
That's okay, but I don't know if that's going to last, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And with this one, I wanted to ask you, I did send you a couple of messages, but you haven't replied. Can we change it to Thursday? Because it's just so hard to be here every Saturday morning at the moment with a lot of things happening. So it would be a better night for me than Friday at the moment. Think about it and let me know.
All right, we'll do. So that's good. Yeah, you got the whole thing, the whole weddings, funerals, births. That's amazing. Yeah, you got the young Harry getting married finally. Hey, little Harry getting married.
He won't last. This is a prediction about Harry's wedding. He's not going to last.
No, hey.
Nah, it's not going to last. I'll give him 2 years.
Okay, you heard it here
if it
first.
lasts that long.
You heard it here
It's
first.
just Megan is so wrong for him. Megan is just so wrong for him, you know.
And that's what makes it so right. I don't know, like I have the opposite feeling, so we'll see. You're probably right because you're the psychic. I'm not. So, so that's
Megan. I like Harry. Harry, he's just the little boy lost, you know, and he's going to. The next time, Harry's going to go through so many changes because once he becomes married, Charlie is going to expect him to step up, you know, and he is going to mature on a different direction as that. And Megan likes to push the limits, you know, and family loyalty is not as strong as what it should be for what is needed in the royal family. So there's a lot of issues externally that is going to affect them in a big way, and I don't know if the love will be strong enough to handle the pressure, you know, and it might become love is not enough.
Well, no, but my feeling is that Harry's been pushing the buttons, you know, in terms of being the perfect little royal boy, you know, that's expected in the first place. And he's been getting away with it.
He wouldn't know how to be a perfect little royal boy.
Right,
he's the nut of them all. Yeah.
That's right. And he's been getting away with it just fine.
Yeah.
And he, you know, even him marrying her has been to go against family in that sense. I have the feeling myself that this is the turning point for the whole way royalty is done and where the whole way that the royal family is, and more of a personalization of them, if you know what I mean. William is kind of a personable guy, although he's been really out of the media mostly, you know what I mean? But he's kind of more like if you go back and you think about Charles and them, like not as approachable, you know what I mean? More rigid, that British rigidness, right? And William is a step better than that, and Harry is light years ahead in terms of being, you know, being a regular guy, if you know what I mean. And that's how he's happiest, and that's how he's happiest. And so, I just think that, and as the queen, you know, and who knows how long the damn queen is going to hang on, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of this could well be determined by how long the queen hangs on, and he may have just, you know, said, screw it, she's going to die soon anyway, so I'm just going to do what makes me happy, you know what I mean? And if I have to have some short-term pain and Granny, you know, hitting me with the cane every now and then, you know, so be it. But, you know, if he's allowed to be, like, for me, the test in this situation is how much can she put up with in terms of the violation of the privacy, and not so much him, you know. Not worried about him at all, actually. I'm worried about her being able to integrate into, but he's also going to be somewhat okay with, like Diana, she couldn't like make a single little misstep without Charles being all over her and criticizing her and, and, you know, wagging the finger and all that kind of thing. And Harry's not going to be that way, you know. He's going to be, you know, don't worry about it, move on, you know what I mean? Like, she's going to catch
he'll laugh it off. Yeah.
Don't worry about it, you know. And So we'll see. We'll see. Of course, I wish the best for them, and the more human, the more human that the royal family can become, the better, in my opinion.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think that you need to have all of that. Some people, they insist upon that tradition, but I've always been of the mindset that the leader that is, most in touch with their people, and more like their people, will be a better leader. And of course, it's just a figurehead thing in the UK, with respect to that. And it's funny because probably you guys too, but the one thing that kind of ticks me off as a Canadian is that we do still have to receive royal assent for all of our parliamentary legislation that gets passed. And it is just a formality. And I've not heard of a single time in my, lifetime where the Queen has refused to sign, and give royal assent to any laws that Canada passes. But just the fact that has to be, that disturbs me, because we're supposedly, it's one thing to be a part of the, a part of the Commonwealth. You know what I mean? I don't see that as being any different than just being in a coalition. But the idea that technically we're under the Queen's rule bothers me, because we're supposed to be a free nation. We're supposed to be, we're supposed to be our own country, and it is again
Australia.
All the Commonwealth countries, and so to me, that's something has to happen about that. I hope something happens about that in my lifetime at some point. We don't need to have to, go. What happens if some whack job gets in there as the king or the queen, right? And then they decide that they're going to start saying, nope, that law isn't good enough, and nope, you can't have that law, and they start to exercise this domination over these countries that are part of the Commonwealth. That would not go well. That would not go well at all.
True. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Time will tell. But I know it's going to be a beautiful fairy wedding, and everything's going to be just, and it's going to be wonderful. Going to be wonderful.
Well, I mean,
I'm not big on king and questionship. I like the monarchy, Breen. I do like the monarchy if it's run properly, but this is not run properly. It's just it's like like Chris, it's just a figurehead there, but she really does nothing for us, nothing at all. Just
hang on, we lost. Here, you're unmuted now. We lost your camera.
That's okay. You're gonna have to do without a camera.
That's okay.
You know what I look like.
I still remember very clearly, when I was a kid watching the Princess Diana and Prince Charles wedding. You know what I mean? And that's so many years ago, really. It's scary to think of. But at that time, that was like the big, huge deal. And there really hasn't been a wedding since then that has been as big. Like, even to me, the Prince William wedding didn't even, you know what I mean, seem to be such a great big deal. They seem to be maybe they make more of a big deal about this one because nobody can believe that Harry's settling down.
Yeah, that's a shock in itself, yeah. But I'm glad it's finally happening, he's, I like him. He's got this naughty boy look, and it's like you never know what's going inside his head. He's a bit like his uncle, Edward. He's great uncle Edward. He was a bit naughty boy.
You know what? He's the nicest guy, and he cares so much about people.
Yeah, he does.
I saw that in some he did some survival event or something like this, and I watched it, and the way he was, and you could tell it was just straight up legit, genuine, and of course, you know, he insisted on going into the military and not being, you know, pampered and kept out of harm's way and all that kind of stuff. Like, so, he's really quite impressive, actually. You know, when you think back about the bad stories of him getting drunk or high, you know, when he was a youngster, he's really has developed, to me, this him getting married is maybe just the culmination of his, but he's already changed significantly, and he's been so for many years already now, where he's been a very responsible, you know, hardworking guy who cares about people. And really, those are the qualities that I think most highly of in anybody, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, I was at you this morning, Chris, by the way.
You what?
I was having waffles with Canadian syrup, maple syrup. And I was, you know, I got this waffle thing with my grandson. Actually, he bought it for me, really. And I've been trying all these waffle recipes, and I've got it perfectly.
Good. So, you got muted again. Hang on. Yeah, you got... So you got a waffle iron, or what are you doing? Yeah, you got a waffle iron.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It's awesome to have those nice brown waffles. You know, like camera's not working, otherwise I will show you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're making me hungry. I love that too, and making all kinds of getting creative with waffles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One I'm gonna do, which I haven't thought of in a while, I haven't gotten outside of the box again with waffles in a while since my last experiment, but is just simply gonna lay down a layer of batter and then lay down a bunch of strips of bacon that's already cooked, right? And then ladle some more waffle mix over top of that, and then close the lid. And I bet that
my husband did that this morning.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Yeah, and he said, "Wow!" When he told me he was going to do it, I went, "What? What are you doing? What are you?" He goes, "Just trust me. It'll be nice. It'll be nice." So he did. Yeah. Oh God, I didn't try it though. I just thought, no, bacon waffle. I don't know, but he loved it. He loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing all kinds of crazy things. Another one that I'm going to do is, do you guys know what corn fritters are over there?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so I was thinking of just mixing corn in with the waffle batter and kind of not having it be a corn fritter, but like a corn waffle, you know what I mean? And,
hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it would be kind of a healthier version of a corn fritter.
Yeah. It's worth a try. I'll give it a shot one day.
I did I can't even remember. I made some savory ones, and I did some with some chicken in between. And, cause they always do like this big in the South or whatever, like chicken and waffles. And I'm all like, well, I'm going to throw some chicken into the middle of this sucker and see what happens with it. And,
I've had it with chicken and pineapple as a topping. Yeah.
Then I did a hamburger patty, in the middle.
Oh,
so
wow.
I thought it cooked too, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I got right creative. Like I was all on this. Oh, I'm gonna, I'm gonna perfect all these, and then I'm gonna like have like a food truck that does strange waffles. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it could be a winner.
Unique waffles, and so anyway. But I'm not going to really. I'm the queen of ideas, and I'm certainly not gonna get out and be doing a waffle truck anytime soon.
Good to dream, though. It's good to dream.
Yeah, if I was 30, or if I could physically handle the manual work of it now, then I would. You know what I mean? But I know that I can't anymore, and so there isn't much point. So But yeah, I love getting all these crazy ideas. And then half the time it's like I go and like 5 years later somebody else comes with it, or, you know, 'cause long before anybody had out half cans of pop or beer, like I had come up with shooter, and I was going to call it shooter beer, and I had like a label drawn and everything for it, like of a shooting star, and it was like going to be shooter beer, and it would be marketed to people for guzzling beer, and or, you know, sometimes people like they don't want a whole beer, like older people or whatever. They don't, you know, and they just want to have a half a beer or whatever. And then also for using beer for marinating like steaks and stuff like that. Like I always thought.
Yeah.
And so about 5 years after that, boom, they were out. They were out, and they were already being. I'm all like, damn, I should have done
You've got
that.
God, we don't have that in Australia. We don't have a small can of the beer. We just have the big can and suck it up, sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's almost a waste for any self-respecting beer drinker to half a beer. But like my point there was, you know, all the college kids and that, they like to. That's why I was going to call it shooter, because is like a shooter. You know what I mean? You just suck it back real quick. So like I thought like the concept of shooter beer would be, you know, easier to guzzle a half a can of beer than a full can. I've never been able to just straight up guzzle a beer all in one guzzle. You know what I mean? I cannot do it.
I can't do that.
No,
yeah, my son can.
Anyway,
I can't.
Never, and really, although there used to be this thing called a Ghostbuster, if I remember correctly. How it went was, you would have a glass, and you would have like vodka Coke, or some would have like rum and Coke, but vodka Coke for me. And then they would make you a little shooter, and I can't remember what was in the shooter itself, but you would take the glass, the shooter, and drop it into the vodka Coke, and it would start to foam up, or not foam up, but kind of spritz up like this, and then it was a race to drink it. And so I used to often I would win the I want to think that they called it a Ghostbuster or something like that, but anyhow, but I wasn't much of a drinker when I was young anyhow, so anyway, so do we have anything spiritual or metaphysical you want to chat about real quick before we take a couple calls here for you?
Yeah. Becoming aware of oneself is actually very important right now, because people are really connecting to the spiritual world, but they cannot dish to the normal world. And I've been working on that. I mean, I always work on that, but lately I've been, like I said, I'm working with this girl privately, this Translator, and I've been trying to get her to acknowledge her spiritual side, but actually not lose connection with the real side. I say you got to be able to balance both under the same plane. So be aware of how you feel and connect, because we are a spirit having a physical experience, but the physical experience is what's right now in this world that we're walking on. So we've been working on that a lot, and so we've been concentrating on the meditate state, actually become aware of our physical being and how we are affected by everything and anything. Even when you have a shower, you know, before you have a shower, or how you feel before you have a shower, and then have a feeling how during the shower, and then after the shower. Acknowledge every change that happens in your body that will strengthen you on a deeper level, and it'll help you acknowledge yourself in your own strength that direction as well. Even with the food you eat, drinks you have, and everything, become aware how that reacts with your body. You know, and then you will find yourself what that does, that is spiritually, that is strengthens, and physically it strengthens you, but it makes you aware how to disconnect from things that you just do out of habit because you just do. You know, so acknowledging how everything affects you on a spiritual level and on a physical level, it helps you create a better foundation, and it helps you be able to assimilate things on a deeper level and actually make the right choices to strengthen you without losing connection.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's what I've been working on, and it's just so important, I think, because we, I don't know about your end of the world, but colleagues especially, there's a lot more opening. There seems to be like a phase, 2 new spiritual shops open in the town, you know, and I've been coming across people that we talked about this before that are just airy-fairy when they're talking spiritual, and they're just rough as guts when they're not talking spiritual. You know, I say you don't want to be one of those people. You want to be able to be yourself all the time. You know, you cannot have a double personality. Sooner or later, it will with you. So you need to allow yourself to digest and assimilate and balance your life with who you are and your own completeness. You don't need to be one person with your spiritual friends and another person.
Yeah. Because, well, I think you might have got muted. Hang on. There we go. It's all about authenticity.
Yeah, it's very important right now. You know, people need to really work themselves and acknowledge that it is okay. It is okay just to be you. You know, like last week, not last week, the week we went away on the girls' weekend. For the first time ever, Chris, I didn't have one beer the whole weekend. I wanted to, virtually, I was doing it for me. I wanted to prove to myself, once that I don't need to drink to play darts, because they used to say, that's all right, I'll play better when I drink, you know. So, no, I got it. And there was another girl that she wanted to do it, and she needed some support to do it, so I did support her as well. And the reason she wanted to do it is I showed her a video what she was like when she had a few too many. We won't go into that, but that was kind of funny. So she said, Selva, I want to not drink when I play. Can you help me? I said, look, I tell you what, I'll do it with you. And she said, no, you wouldn't do it. I said, yeah, look, it doesn't worry me. You know, I mean, I love a beer, but just think of all the money I'll save, you know? So anyway, and she said, but you're the same whether you drink or you don't drink. I said, that's right. Even when I drink, I know my boundaries.
Right.
She goes, I don't get it. I said, well, that's what you've got to learn to feel yourself. You've got to learn to know where you're at with you. It's all about the self, you know?
Well, I mean, and that's the whole thing is like, okay, if it's one thing that I've been successful at my lifetime is being who I am. And what happens is, like, if you do that right from the start, then, like, when you are drinking, you can become uninhibited. And if you've been putting up a front, you know what I mean, and not being yourself, that's going to show real quick if you start having a few drinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's always been for me, like, just like it's not so much work then, because otherwise it's so much work. I mean, in a way, it's almost like lying. Lying can, when you become a liar and you care about being caught. Like, we're not talking about like the pathological liars that don't even care about getting caught. You know what I mean? But like, if you're lying and you're doing so and you don't want to get caught, like, it's a lot of work to keep that up. And sooner or later you make a mistake with that. And so always been for me that I would just be myself. I mentioned recently on the show, I can't remember who it was or what night it was, but is like, you know, I used to have people like comment to me like, oh, you should put on, you know, dresses more often and go find a man, blah, blah. I go, but the problem with that is I'd be finding and attracting a man that wants to see me in dresses then. And I don't want to be in dresses. You know what I mean? I want to attract somebody who's going to like be attracted to me the way I am. Because then
Exactly.
I don't have to have a big effort to keep up some appearance that I'm unhappy having to keep up. It's so much easier to just be able to be your damn self, right?
Yeah. It's like, and then you end up like a smart ass husband. And I put on a dress the other day, and he goes, "Oh my God, you're a girl."
Yeah,
said,
I know, right? Well, that used to happen
Thanks,
to me all
jerk.
the time. Oh, you
Yeah,
have
but no, that's
legs.
true.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You know, I'm like that, and I've always been like that. What you see is what you get. I'm no different here than anywhere else. What you see is what you get, and if you don't like it, well, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. You know, like, you know, and that's the, it's easy. But for me, it's easy, and that's why I started working it, because I just could not believe it. The amount of people that have said to me how difficult it is for them to be themselves, and I said, but I don't understand it. I mean, I am who I'm, happy with my completeness, and I just lay the cards on the table, and what you see is what you get. But these people, you know, and they can't be themselves. It's they need to learn that. They need to learn that because, like you said, you know, when they have a few drinks or when they're a cone or they want to have whatever, it just changes them, because it's like they call it Dutch courage. It gives you, it takes all your inhibitions away and end up showing yourself. Yeah. You know, and then nobody knows where you're at, you know. So yeah, so anyway, so it's been very intense this, but I've been looking from a spiritual perspective, you know, and so it strengthens the spirit as well as your everyday living, you know. I mean, I don't have a spiritual Selva and a normal Selva. I just have Selva, you know.
Right, that's right.
You know,
that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember another example. I remember years ago, I was it was for my 18th birthday, I believe, and so my mother insisted upon taking me for a makeover. You know what I mean? And so that's fine, whatever. I did it to get her off my ass, basically. And so I don't know. A couple of years later, when I left home, I didn't. You know, it took me a long time to try and have an adult relationship there, and then I tried to. So I would visit with my mom now and then, and so one time I was over and looking at the photo album, and I'm flipping, and I come to this picture, and I go, who's that? Is that woman that used to work in the cubicle next door to you? And she looks at me, and she goes, that's you. And I'm like, what? I didn't even recognize myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's totally a true story. I kind of wish I had that picture now. But I did not even legitimately recognize my own damn self. And so that's a problem. You know what I mean? And I think that for me, okay, for some people, like they get put into this mode where they have to be someone else right from the get-go, if you know what I mean, right? And so, in a way, when they get older, that's where their struggle is finding out who they really are, and not being able to recognize their true self, right? And where I had that from day one. You know what I mean? I knew who I was ever since I was a small little kid, you know, and I didn't try terribly hard to be something else. And that has served me well, in many ways, many ways. And, you know, I feel good about that, you know, and, anything that I've missed out on has, you know, not really been, you know, like people go, like you see jobs, like for receptionist at some fancy law office or something, like someone like me isn't going to get hired for that job, no matter how good my skills are, right? They want some beautiful power dressing woman to be sitting in that front chair. You know what I mean? Where their clients are coming in. And so there's a lot of, I mean, in some markets, even to be a server at a restaurant or at a bar, you have to send a picture of your damn self with your application. It's
Wow.
like, holy, because they don't hire ugly people, you know what I mean? And,
So they're not allowed to do that in Australia.
Yeah, no. So now then they can make, some of these places are making arguments of bona fide, there's a bona fide reason for, a business reason for this, and for me, it's and I mean, I can step aside and go, I could see that. I mean, when you own a bar, like, and this happens in Los Angeles a lot. You know what I mean? There's almost no place you can get hired as a server there in Los Angeles without, being vetted via picture first, and then they might look at your resume, right? And but you want, beautiful people around, and people, because people like beautiful people. You know what I mean? So they must feel like that people will be more attracted to their place and spend more money when they're there, and all of these kinds of things if they're having really beautiful servers, right? And
that reminds me.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my son, my eldest boy, Troy. He was about 18 at the time. He's 38 now. He was 18 at the time. My late husband, Brett, sat down and he said, look, Troy said, how many girlfriends did you have before Mum, Dad? And he goes, I had a few. I still got pictures. And Troy looked at the pictures, and they were beautiful girls, really beautiful, right, nice, feminine, beautiful girls. And then Troy comes and says, Dad had beautiful girlfriends. How did he end up with you?
Jesus.
I go, what? I said, are you calling me ugly? He goes, no, I'm just calling you less attractive. I cracked up. I thought it was so funny. I said, oh my God, leave my own son. He's telling me that. He said, but I do love you, Mum. I was just wondering.
Unbelievable. See, no kid of mine that was 18 and said that to me would live to be 19. You know what I mean? And
oh God, it was so funny. I reminded him of that the other day at his house, and his daughter was saying something, and everybody tells her that she looks like me, and and so I said, but you're absolutely beautiful, You're the most beautiful little girl for me. You're my most beautiful 10-year-old girl that I know. And I said, and you look so much, it's so good. And Troy looks at me, what are you on about? I says, well, remember when you said that your dad had beautiful girlfriends and he ended up like me? And he ended up with me? And he goes, oh, but that was different. I was foolish and stupid. So, yeah, it's funny. But his daughter's a picture of me. Like, you think it's a carbon copy.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Well, listen, let's do a song break. One of our callers dropped, so I don't know if they'll call back or if their phone died on them or what happened, and or they just thought we would never maybe get to taking calls. But Bryn is still there, and I'm assuming Bryn wants to talk to you. So I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna say this is funny because the other day I was like, somehow this song popped up, but in my library, it just came up as unknown album and track 1, you know what I mean, and track 2. And I was driving myself crazy trying, and oftentimes when I hear a song that I really love and I can't place it and I can't find it on YouTube or whatever, I'll just start typing the lyrics into Google and hopefully get a hit on it, right? And so I was going and doing this craziness, and then finally I'm sitting here going, I wonder, that's not Matt's song, is it? So Renee Richards, who's a friend of many of ours, an amazing psychic medium also, her son did these songs, and so, but it's been a while since I heard them, and so the other day, it's actually quite a high compliment to him because I was taken again by this song, and that so much so that I wanted to, find it on YouTube and put a proper title to it. You know what I mean? Instead of just track one from unknown album. And
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'm impressed that I came with the answer. I got the answer myself because I never would have found it on YouTube. But he's got a couple of really good songs, and so I'm gonna toss at least one of these on now, and maybe one a little bit later too. And so we'll go with this. I think this is the one. Let me just see. Yeah, that one, and then hang on. Okay, we're going to go with this one first. And by the way, YouTube, I have a permission of the artist to play this, so don't block it out. Okay.
Flying free above us, how I miss you, wish I was with you, but where you've gone I cannot follow. Heart so pure, your blue eyes pools of kindness, you took my hand, made me understand what it means to be forgotten. How I miss you, wish I was with you, but where you've gone I cannot follow. What else can I say? You were torn away, but I still see your face. I was with you, wish I was with you, but where you've gone I cannot follow.
All right. So that's a beautiful song Matt wrote and performs, and this was written after his father passed away, if I recall correctly. So really, really nice song. And so we'll go ahead and we'll do a quick shout out, and then we'll take that caller. Oh, we have another anonymous person, so maybe that's another person for a call. So, hello, Amy's here, and anonymous caller, and Bryn is here, Diane, Doreen, how are you, Michael? Selva's our guest, Selva Dutton, and we also had Dan pop in, and Dan will be back as soon as he's got Tucker done, and so always good to see Dan. Let's go get Selva back. Hey, Selva.
Hi.
All right, so I know that we have Bryn for you, so want to take that?
Why not?
All right. Hey, Bryn.
Hey, Chris and Selva, how are you?
Oh,
How
good,
are you?
Bryn. It's good to hear your voice again. Yeah.
Yeah, good to hear you.
Bryn, there's those little steps, baby steps that you're making at the moment, and it's actually bringing some clarity into your being, but it's like you're changing your whole way you have you're changing, and it's like you're creating a better ambient for yourself, which is really, really good. Also, there's people coming back into your life that you might have been with in the past. So it's like you're reconnecting with people for a purpose, for a condition. And it's actually going to be very fruitful for you, and it's going to be very rewarding in some way as well. Financially, there's some slight changes, and it's like restructuring of a financial space as well. But be careful on long drives. You don't have the concentration for long drives as much as you used to before. So make sure you have regular breaks and look after yourself. It's like, I don't know, it's just like more than an hour in a car for you at the moment. It's too much. So you need to have a break often to keep your focus on journey. The reason I see you here and there and everywhere. So be aware that you're not the only one on the road. Questions, young man?
Oh, yes, young lady. So I looked up some yoga studios. This is in reference to our talk before, and I went to a yoga studio with some of my paintings, like samples. And
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I only had time so far to go to one, and it's the name of the place is Atmandan. Well, ATMAN, so Atmananda
Yeah.
Yoga Studio,
Yeah.
and the manager there is named Caitlin, and she's interested in seeing some of my work. So, how do you feel that might go, or it might,
Very well, very well. That's what I said. It's small financial changes through opportunities that are created. So that could be it. Very well, but I think it's very good. It does show that she does have to answer to two other people. So it's not just her have a look at the work. It's like she will need approval from two other people, but I think that's going to be reasonably well. And she'll be also a person that is not just looking at artwork, she was standing of the artwork. So you're going to find yourself having to reconnect with your beautiful artwork and explaining it. And some of it you're going to find yourself, you're going to explain it we might have thought before. But a lot of your work is a spiritual energy work, and you can't help that. So when you are surrounded by certain people, the painting will change because into their energy and their vibration as well. So the painting throws a different energy to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure. I understand. Yep.
Good. But I do feel that she's going to ask for 6 pieces.
Oh, wow. That sounds interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and good. And it's good because you got quite a few there anyway, but it does show that she wants 6 pieces. And if I were you, try and take like a pot of photos and ask her to pick the pieces herself.
Yeah. Well,
and I'll tell you why I want you to do that. Tell you why I want you to do that. She will connect to those pieces and she will sell them better because she will have like a personal healing that comes out from those pieces. So therefore, because using those herself without even knowing, she will be able to attract the right people that will be drawn to them as well.
Huh, interesting.
It's
Okay.
like a...
Can't hear you. What'd you say? Hello?
Okay. Now, another place that I would like you to approach, and then get very clear, it's a restaurant.
Oh, yeah, cafes, like restaurants, right?
Yes.
Cafes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes, that's what I said. I do places like that. But don't pick like a big place. It's a little place. I see a little place, like a little cafe, where it's sort of into a little bit. The painting will stand out, and you will see, and just getting to put the sign underneath, like for sale, whatever.
Right.
And people will see that will move, but I only see like one or two paintings there in a cafe type of thing. But that'll be ample because it'll bring variety into the place, because one or two paintings will move kind of fast. So therefore, you're forever changing. Would you change their decor, and it helps them because it keeps the place fresh and full of life, and also it keeps your stock moving a little bit as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, Selva. That's great news.
Oh, my pleasure. It's always nice to talk to you, Bryn. I really like talking to you.
I like you too. Yeah, I like talking with you, and it's something what's happening on the island of Kilauea, isn't it? I mean, it's not close to Maui, is it? The Kilauea volcano.
Nah, nowhere near Maui.
Oh,
nowhere near Maui. I'll still be in Maui in 14 weeks' time. And it's the only thing is that I might not be able to go to Pearl Harbor, and I really wanted to go to the Big Island, just look at Pearl Harbor. Apparently that area is closed off. So maybe in 14 weeks' time everything will be okay. It'll be fine. But I'm still coming.
What do you think is going to happen to Kilauea? Is it going to subside, or is there going to be like a really major transformation of the whole island?
I think to be some shift, because the islands are actually moving itself.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. They're actually moving closer. They are moving. There's a shift happening. There's a shift with the earthy part of the islands itself. So I do feel the gaps are going to become lesser and that. But I'm still waiting for one of the minor islands to have an unexpected volcano coming up. I seen a volcano coming up from under the water, and that a new one.
Right.
Which is weird.
It'll create a new island, you mean?
Yeah. So it's going to be quite interesting. So I'm really looking forward to see that change and that. But Maui is pretty fortunate because it's actually it's got this higher protection space and quite high above sea level as well, which is unusual. And that's a problem with a big island that is not high above sea level, and it rattles movement of the earth as well. But I do feel that this volcano was really activated more because of the movement underneath. So sort of I don't want to call it earthquake. I want to call it waterquake, if you know what I mean.
Right. Like
so it's under the ocean, real down, and that's what's happening. So it's going to be quite interesting. So I'm looking forward to going to Maui because then I'll be able to pick up the energy a lot and know there. So when I'm doing the show from there, then I'll be able to tell you a lot more.
That'd be great.
Because I'll be able to feel the place, and it's new. I've never been there. So.
Amazing. Well, that's great. I'm glad you're going there for yourself.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, all right. Take care. Thank you.
Okay, Bryn.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, Chris. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. Peace out. Okay. Now we got anonymous caller. So I don't know if that's Queen. Let's see if it's Queen. Who's this? Queen? Oh, it's Yvette. Is that you, Yvette? Yvette, unmute your phone. If that's you.
Party pants.
Yes. Oh, there you are. Okay, how's it going? What's going on?
No, I was trying to log in.
I'm wondering if there's been some updates recently, and so some people, I guess, are having trouble logging in, or I don't know.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, so, yeah. The deal.
I don't know what. Well, I'm glad you got here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad
me
you
too.
Yeah.
I hunt you down like an animal, but I'm here. Hi,
Very
Selva.
good. Very good.
Hi, how are you?
I'm smashing now that I'm talking to you.
Well, might as well. Yeah. Actually, I'm glad because your life is actually in a turning point, and it's like you're standing on a T junction. You know what a T junction is, right?
I guess a crossroads. I'm not sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like a dead end crossroad that you can only go right or left. But I don't see you going right or left. I actually see you creating like a. But I do see there's a lot of contradictions surrounding you. Like there's a lot of people that don't understand where you're coming from. But it's like for the first time in your life, you actually say, no, bugger it, I'm doing it anyway. It's going to be really good because I see you moving forward and I see you actually opening up new doors. There's a lot of paperwork involved around you as well. So I do see you becoming involved with some situation, which is going to give you a better foundation and a better security, which will improve your financial changes in the bean. Now, I'm also a little bit concerned about your throat. It's like you're swallowing sometimes. Sometimes a bit of a block in there, and like maybe you can drink some green tea or warm water or thing after a meal to try and clear all that throat and esophagus a little bit more, because I feel like sometimes it's actually hard to swallow a little bit because it seems to be something there.
Huh?
Does that make any sense?
Actually, I don't, that was not the throat thing. I had a runny nose yesterday and,
Oh, okay.
but it was, yeah, and, yeah, but normally for the most part, my health, I've been doing a lot of energy work and a lot of stuff has been clearing on its own naturally.
Mm. Yeah.
So I'm not really
and it's
I'm not too
well,
happy
I
about
think
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I do see you creating.
I did some, phlegm and stuff did come up yesterday. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's all cool. It's cool.
No, I had to clarify, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, good. You know what I'm talking about. That's all that matters. Nobody else has to know, but you got to know. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's clear.
That's good. The next thing, it's cool. It's really good. It's like, and you got to make that new road. You don't have to go left or right. You just got to do it and trust. Gut feeling, trust your intuition. Become aware how you feel and work with it, and you'll see it'll be amazing. Like, it's time. It's time for things to turn.
Yes, it is time. It is very much time.
Yeah.
So what does that whole love thing look like?
The what?
The magical LOVE.
OVE?
LOVE.
Love.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
Well, love is a funny thing with you,
Yeah, it is.
because first you're scared of rejection. Secondly, you want to do all the loving. And thirdly, you got to learn to receive. So
Absolutely.
love is a two-way street. It's a two-way street, and it's like you got to see your worthiness and see that you deserve love, you're worthy of it, and love actually, and that you deserve within yourself. But you got to understand that you don't have to do it all. You don't have to do all the work. And in the past, the problem is that when you do love, you just love too much, and you suffocate it. So you got to learn not to suffocate and not to. So first you got to learn to love. So I do see this friendship connection of delivery, which is going to resonate into a direction of deeper love later on. So there's a love around you, and I do feel you are going to form a friendship that it might develop into love later once you learned that it's a give situation.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I've already working on that.
You know how to give. There's no problem there. You know how to give. There's no problem. You know how to give. You just don't know how to receive.
Right. But I think the work I'm doing on myself is allowing me to have that openness to learn to receive. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be good.
That's in everything.
Baby steps, one day at a time. One day at a time, and you're getting there. And when it happens, it'll be, it'll be great. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, young lady.
I'm very simple. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Much love, girl.
All right. All right, you guys. So the rest of you now, Dan better hurry and eat, or we'll be gone out of here before he gets back, and he'll be mad at me again. So I'm going to give anybody else a couple of minutes if they want to decide to call in or not, and I'm going to toss that other Matt Fretchen song on, and then we'll come back and we'll see what else we're gonna do, or if we're gonna wrap. Okay, guys. So 3 minutes 46 seconds.
That has been doing, and I know you as a friend of mine. Do you think you would know me? Would you even say hi? I think I've seen you somewhere in time. I think I know you if I gave it a try. I think I know you, but I wonder why. I think you know me if you looked in my eyes. I think you know me if I walked on by. I've looked so long for someone like you. I've spent my time just trying to find your love, to be in your sweet embrace would heal my soul. So why don't you tell me, baby? I have to know. I think I'd know you if I gave it a try. If I gave it a try, I think I'd know you, but I wonder why. Oh, how I wonder. I think you know me if you looked in my eyes. Look in my eyes. I think you know me if I walked on by, baby. So don't tell me no, my baby, I'm just a stubborn fool. If you want me to lay my head down, I'd do that for you. I think I'd know you if I gave it a try. I think I'd know you, but I wonder why. I think you know me, yeah, if you looked in my eyes. I think you know me if I walked on by.
All right, there we go. So, I really like his songs, and I can't remember the band he was with, and they got a really couple of. I'm gonna have to hunt those tracks down too. But we do have 2 more callers, so let's go pitter patter. Let's go get at her. Okay, Selva.
Yep, no worries.
Let's get Doreen. Hi, Doreen.
Hello, how are you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
loud and clear. Yeah. Doreen, life has a way of changing quite often, and sometimes we have no clue about how it's going to change, and how we react to that change is whether we move on forward on a positive or we have a minor little setback. Changes is something you like very much. You don't like things to change. You like things to be, but it's time to create changes. And right now there are a lot of changes that are in you, but it's almost like you're holding it back a little bit. So I would love you to relax a little and just sit back and say to the universe, bring it on. To embrace. I'm ready for the new growth. I'm ready to open my heart and my life into my new surroundings and my new acceptance, because it is so timely for you to changes to happen without you having to understand them. You just got to go with it, go with the flow, relax, accept things as they present themselves. Be very pleasant of the outcome of it at the same space. Also, you are part of people's life, but you're not responsible for them. You got to understand, you're not responsible for them. You're part of their life, and they're part of life, but you got to not feel responsible for someone else. You got to allow yourself to be free to be yourself in space and direction as well. There's also some money matters. There's some money and papers going through your hands as well. So it's like you need to take a step back and reassess your budget a little bit for a shorter time until everything settles a little bit and there's a better flow of a financial productive space as well. Questions, young lady?
That kind of summed everything up. I am going through some financial things, and I am taking care of somebody else more than myself. As far as change goes, I have a tendency to kind of flow with the change instead of fighting it, just because that's an easier thing to do. But I always look forward to change more than not.
Oh, wow, that's interesting, because it shows that there's a change there that you're blocking it in some way for some reason. And I don't know what that is, but it does show something that you're hesitating about. And it's like it's going to be, once you actually relax with it and embrace it, and it could be as simple as just letting go of that responsibility for someone. It could be just even that simple space. You know what I mean? But that you need to change, and you need to change for you to have that growth and that move forward, because
Sabrina!
You've got this beautiful world waiting for you. It's waiting for you.
Sorry about that. My dog was chewing up her pillow.
Uh-oh.
I thought it must have been.
Better her pillow than yours.
Yeah, it's like yeah. That's all right. Dogs, do that. Yeah.
Someone's in trouble. Someone's in trouble.
Yeah.
Gotta take the mommy tone and go for it.
I was going to say she got me voice, and
No.
that's funny. Oh, so funny.
Bad girl.
Okay. Is there more?
Do you have a question?
Well,
Doreen?
I was wondering if the change might happen to do with my business. I've been kind of putting off going and talking to some people about getting my jewelry in their store. And
maybe that's what it is. Like, yeah. I do because it does show there's financial flow and better security. So it probably is, because that's what I said earlier, is that you're delaying a change, and allow it to happen. You got to allow it to go, because it will manifest better flow of financial security. So it probably is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about stretching myself a little too thin. That's the only thing I was looking at.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Selva got muted. Hang on. Sorry, Selva.
That's okay. Yeah. So yeah, I know how challenging it is, because you're a perfectionist at the best of time, and even though you tell me you embrace change, you actually do fear it a little as well. So, and it's good, because once when we actually fear a change of that, it means that we got pride in what we do, and it's like we proud in what we do, we love what we do, and we know that whatever we provide to people is a representation of who we are. So if we don't deliver it appropriately, or it doesn't put us in a good light, and it will cut off some of our business connection as such. So I can understand that. And plus, your jewelry is not just normal. It's jewelry with energy, so people got to understand the value of that jewelry as well, and understand how you want it display as well, because you are particular on that space as well.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for your energy and your time.
Awesome.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thanks.
You have a beautiful evening.
Thanks
You
for
also.
coming in, Doreen. Good luck with that, eh? If you want
Thank
to
you.
if you have a link for your jewelry, please feel free to share it in the chat room.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's go to Beverly Hills and see if this person saw anybody famous today. I don't know who it is, but Beverly Hills. Hello.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Selva.
Hi, who's that?
Hi.
Michael from Florida.
Oh, Michael from Florida, calling from Beverly Hills, of course.
Oh, Michael.
Go ahead.
One step forward. Michael, one step forward and two step back sometimes with you. It's kind of interesting, because it's like you're putting things in place for the first 7 years. It's like the last 7 years you've been on a roller coaster of frustration, but also a roller coaster of assumption. It's like there was a lot around you, and it's like a lot of people assume that they knew where you're from and what you were doing and what you wanted to do, what you prepared to do, what you're not prepared to do. But it's true. They forgot that important step was to ask Michael, what does Michael want to do? And Michael has been tagging along up, but now Michael says, I'm not tagging along anymore, Joe. I'm not getting on the back anymore. So I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and I'm going to enjoy the ride on my own understanding. So the delivery of yourself is quite a shake-up for some people, but it's also some people will embrace well. But I think what it's got to come down is that you got to embrace it yourself. You got to be completely happy within yourself. You're not in a financial situation, but you're not in a completely financial situation, which means you need to look at ways of making your money work for you, so you can actually enjoy the fruit of life a little bit more. Because we don't live to work, to live. So you need to acknowledge that you're not a machine, you're a human being, and you need to really celebrate what you have and where you, as well as creating that at the same time. Love is actually important to you, but if we don't make time for love, love just doesn't happen. So you need to look at your emotional loving side, because you need that. You need that loving connection. You are a person, you have a lot of love to give, but you just don't have time to do it. Do you have a question, Michael?
Yeah, it's going to be just basically career focus. what direction do I go?
Could you repeat that because it broke halfway through?
Yeah, just basically career focus. What direction should I travel?
Okay. It shows that you need a career especially puts you into a time alone of isolation, but also companionship as well, because you're a person, you need to be around people, but you also need your own space to digest whatever it needs to do itself. But it also shows that there's a social interest, that it could turn in business aspect of it as well. So there's a social, which would be a service or something of that nature. But you like to be in control, you do, because you know that it's you that's going to be looked at whether the job is done right or not. But all I'm servicing area is not retail, thank God, not retail, but it doesn't feel like an office either. But it feels like something that has a variety of because your mind is active and it needs to be motivated at all time. You do have a beautiful spiritual side and energy as well, which it will benefit you on understanding you a little bit deeper. But I do feel that you need to be with people. You need to be with people as much as you need that isolation space as well. But it doesn't feel like in a retail type of space. It feels like a servicing. So you are delivering a service. And I got a clear picture on it. I'm sorry.
Okay. It sounds right, because I've been traveling a couple of different roads and trying to decide which way is best to go, and my history is really customer service and sales and all that type of avenue.
You are good at servicing people, but you also need your own space as well. So it's like whatever the job situation, it'll be a job that yes, you are dealing with people. You're delivering a service, but you also have a lot of alone time to prepare how you're going to deliver that service.
Okay. Right.
You know, so right. If you were going to go, if you were going to look into a base retailing type of area, I would tell you to be one of the salesmen. That's what I would tell you, to drive around, and because you need variety. You need your time alone. You need variety. You need changes on a daily basis. You're not a person who should be doing the same thing day in, day out. It will drive you bananas.
That's 100% true, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for taking my call, Selva and Chris. And by the way, Selva, how did the wedding situation go on a couple of weeks ago?
The what?
The wedding.
The wedding.
Yeah, there was a wedding situation where it was a couple and you didn't feel comfortable attending or not?
Oh.
The wedding that I did, or the wedding that I go to?
It was the one you were going to. It was two people you knew, and the groom you were uncomfortable with.
Oh, that. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. That. I ended up going. I didn't stay for the reception, and it was unpleasant in a sense, but the bride is so beautiful. I mean, she looks stunning, like most brides do, you know. And I spoke to the mother, and I said, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm not going to stay for the reception because I can't. I just can't stay here." And she knew all about it. Anyway, the mother didn't stay for the reception. She didn't really approve of the wedding either. And I saw the bride, funny enough, Michael, I saw the bride yesterday, and I said, how you doing? And she said, "Oh, I just don't feel like talking." I said, why don't you feel like talking? What is it? You always talk to one yourself. I mean, what's wrong with not talking today? And he said, "Oh, I'll go and see you tomorrow." and have a coffee with you. I said, okay. And I noticed her lip was very jumpy. If she raised her voice or anything, the little girl was very jumpy. So I don't know if something's happening, but I still have this. Like I said 2 weeks ago, I got this horrible feeling, that something's going to happen, and it's like waiting for like a bomb to explode, and that's what it feels like. But the wedding itself was magical. It was like a fairy tale. It was a fairy. Everything went perfect, but it just wasn't right.
So your instincts are telling you there's still potential problems, issues you're feeling?
Well, apparently he's going to counseling and stuff like that. Apparently, like I said, I haven't really had a chance to talk to the bride properly after the wedding, and it's like we never seem to be alone to be able to talk. So I suppose sooner or later she'll tell me what's happening, but I still got this.
Hang on, you think you got muted? I think she got muted again. Hang on, I gotta find her. Yep. Or if you hear a little beep in your ears, that means she got muted.
Yeah, she muted at my end though. That's a funny thing.
No, I know. It happens to me from time to time too. So if you hear a beep in your ear, that means.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, so I'm just waiting and see, Michael. It's like
Gosh, she got muted again. So what I'm trying to say is, when you hear that beep, if you're on the website, you can unmute your own mic quicker than sometimes I can get to you. But anyway, go ahead. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, but my mic doesn't look muted. I tried that. It doesn't look muted. Like I hear the beep, and the mic does not look muted. That's a funny thing. So it's not muted at your end, and you can tell at your end, but at my end, it doesn't show anything. I just hear the beep, but it doesn't change anything. So so that's it. Well, that's all it is. Just got to wait see what happens. I just pray that she's okay, and I pray that she goes her way before anything really, really bad happens.
I remember we were talking about it in the chat room, and I just wanted to throw in just keep your eyes wide open for a person who may become or feel trapped. You got to really keep your eyes out, because when you were describing it on the podcast and I was in chat, it made me really uncomfortable. So just keep your eyes wide open for a person who could become trapped.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep an eye open as much as I can, without putting my nose where it's not wanted,
Yeah.
So I gotta learn to be diplomatic. So I just gotta wait and see. But she knows I'm available 24/7. I don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning. She knows that very well, that you need me, you call me. Even if it's 2:00 in the morning, whatever, I don't care. There's no boundaries. So which is good. Awesome. And I believe that she will. I mean, the last time when she ended up in hospital, I'm the first person she called, and I went and picked up my mum and took her in and that. But so I'm hoping that same thing. I hope it doesn't get to a bad ending, and that's what worries me. But it's in the hands of the Lord, whatever it is. I mean, she decided to do this, and for whatever reason, she's doing it. So obviously there must be a reason. Everything happens for a reason. They say, sometimes just simply stupidity, but so she's doing it consciously. She made her decision. She wasn't forced to marry him or anything. She had every chance to leave him. But she decided to go back because he said he will change. He will be better. So just got to wait and see. Who knows? Maybe he will change. I don't know. I doubt it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think you'll see any changes. And that's really biased because I don't even know these people. But how you were describing it initially, I don't expect to see any change. But I wish you guys the best of luck. And I was curious to hear the rest of your story, whether you were attending or not. Because I remember the last time we chatted.
Yeah, but well, I never, like I said, I just went to the self and then I left. I didn't stay anymore. I just came home. So, and but I went and paid my respects, and I say to her, "Okay, have a happy night. I got to go now." Yeah, and left. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
That's all you can do.
Right.
How come your phone shows up calling from Beverly Hills?
I can call from anywhere in the world. Matter of fact, if you open up your blinds that are behind you, I'm actually standing right outside your window. So why don't you wave now? It'll make me feel bad.
That's funny. Okay, guys. So thank you, Michael, for calling in. You tricked me, and but that's good. It's nice to hear from you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Selva. Thank you.
All right.
You're very welcome. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys all can get a hold of Selva on Facebook at selva.nix, or just type in Selva Dutton, and you can just Google her as well and find her. So I'll get in touch with you about your schedule, and we'll kind of take it from there. Okay, Selva?
I hope so, because I'm not available next week. Otherwise, because so I'm hoping that even if we get every now and then when I need it, because I hate missing the show. I need my mix. I need my mix every week.
Okay. Well, we could just leave them on Fridays, and then if there's time to time, if you want to move it to the day ahead and that's still open, then we can do that, and then
Awesome.
that will work too. Okay, well, let's just leave it at that. Okay, so we're back tomorrow, you guys, with Kimber, and then Sunday it's Amy Kavanaugh, and then Monday we have Diana Monroe. So that's what's coming up in the next few little days. Have a great rest of the weekend, Selva.
I will.
All right, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you.
For next week, you want to move it to Thursday, is what you're saying?
Yes, please. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So next Thursday, everybody. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, kids. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
I forgot one thing. Thank you for looking after my friend Rachel this week as well. She rang up the show a couple of times.
Yeah. Not a problem. Yeah. Nice to hear from her. So also, guys, just hang in there, because I guess that there's some, Dan wrote in and told me that when he looked on the IntuiTalks site, it didn't show that there was a live show. But when I went to look, it shows me that there's a live show. And so you might just have to click around a little bit. And if worse comes to worse, go to my Facebook page, you guys, to get the show link and to see what's on. Today I was a little bit late posting it, but I'm all live in actually now, because I forgot to post it before I came in. And so if all else fails, go to my Facebook page and it shows. Well, Jenny's been working on it. I guess the site was down for a couple of days, it sounded like, and she's been working feverishly to track down what that thing is. Sometimes I wonder if it's these crazy updates that happen and it affects websites that are running live content and stuff like that. All these different programs it takes behind the scenes to run a site like this. And so one little update by a browser or by Microsoft can sometimes throw everything into craziness. And so So anyway, again, as I say, I'll put that link into the chat room. And if you're not already connected to me there, then go and friend me there, and you can put it on your feed for notifications or whatever you want to do. But if you're having trouble ever, go to my Facebook page and try the direct link that I have there to the show. Okay, everybody, we're gone. Thank you very much. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Kimber. And apparently my throat doesn't want to work anymore today. So we're gone. Peace out. Thanks, guys. Take care.